So welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. My name is Chaya, and thanks for joining our information webinar on ChayaVeda's Ayurvedic massage and bodywork programs. I appreciate all your interest, and we've had a lot of phone calls and emails, and a lot of the questions seem to be similar. So I thought I'd welcome you all into our classroom. You can get a sense of what it looks like and a little bit about what to expect when you take one of our programs. So I'm going to do a short presentation going through a few of the questions and concerns, and then I'll open it up for anyone on the webinar today. If you have additional questions, you can ask them. At any time, you can write something in the chat box below, and so this is being recorded for later use. So we'll see how this goes, and we'll have the recording also available for anyone that couldn't make the webinar today. So I'm going to see if I can share my screen with you and pull up this presentation so that just to really keep me on track. Okay, so one of the main questions that I've been getting is about the what's the difference between an online versus a live program. And so you know, there's pros and cons to each, and I just thought I'd go through it real quick. So some of the benefits of our online course, of course, obviously you don't have the expense or the time and energy in traveling. There's also less of a cognitive overload in that, you know, it's a little, the pace of the class will be a little bit slower. There'll be more time for you to practice and more space to dive in more deeply into each topic and module. And if for those of you that want to take our Ayurvedic massage and bodywork specialist certificate, that would be taking all of the modules. And this way it's broken up into 6 modules presented over 6 weekends with space in between the courses for you to assimilate what you're learning. So the spacing of the modules will allow you to retain information presented and get more in-depth education and training in various techniques. It encourages, like I said, more time for practice, more times for questions and participation. It allows you to go at your own pace and have an extended amount of time to practice. The CEUs, I'm going to come back to that in a minute. That is a big question, and I want to explain what's going on with the CEU situation right now. So in an online program right now, it provides you safety and the comfort of your own home or office. There will be personal and group assistance with verbal and visual instruction, which I'm going to show you in a full screen shortly. When I demonstrate the modality, I'll actually be popping onto a large screen, so you'll see me full screen in a moment, and that portion of the program will be recorded and available for you to access after the program. So you'll have a video of the actual modality, so you can go back, and when you're practicing, you know, how often do you take a course and then some time goes by and, oh, what did she do? I don't remember exactly how that went. So you'll have a recording available to you to go back. We'll also have a private Facebook group. That's optional for those of you that would like to. I would encourage you to do it. So we're creating like a virtual classroom with an opportunity for everyone to share their best practices, what they're learning, what they're developing as they practice each module. And also we'll be, me and my intern staff are going to be watching and involved in the group, and we're going to be adding tips and best practices and products information as we do, you know, as we learn about new things that we can add after the class. So it creates a community and a place for us to share, network, and continue to grow even after the module finishes. Of course, so then what are the drawbacks of an online course? So what I've seen, I've been teaching our yoga teacher training in an online platform. I've also participated in many courses in an online platform. So I can say, you know, the benefits are tremendous. And if you know what the downside is in advance, you can create a strategy to overcome the obstacles of distractions. So I have found that to be the main concern is you want to try to create a space that will help you stay focused throughout the course. You know, try to set a boundary in your space so you can stay focused on the class. Yes, we're less able to receive massage during an online course, the less ability for actual hands-on, but we are making up for that in a sense by providing so many other resources of support with the video and the group. And I will be able to see you and watch you do the module and give you specific cues and, you know, lessons and corrections throughout the class. What is included in our classes, so all the things I just mentioned in the benefits, as well as handouts. There are handouts for every class, and they will be in the Facebook group where you can open them or download them. It's up to you if you would like to print them. I would suggest you do, so if you want to write notes on them, but I guess you can still make notes on your tablet or however else you like to work. It's really up to you. So the handouts will be downloadable. Each module will have some handouts. Once you register for the course, you'll be supplied with an email that has a list of all the recommended supplies for you to properly prepare for the course. And you'll find a lot of supplies just laying around your house. And certainly for training purposes, you can stick with very simple and basic types of products just to learn the basic modality. Within the actual course, you will be learning about all the variety of products that you can choose from, and you'll also learn how to adapt the modality and the products according to your client. I mentioned the private Facebook group. That's included with access to more information, tips, and reminders, a networking opportunity, a place to ask questions, check in, and a resource, a continued resource of articles, products, etc., that will enhance your techniques. The bonus demo video I mentioned after the course, you will get a certificate of completion sent to you and CEUs where applicable, and we'll talk about CEUs. So some of the questions that have been coming in, thank you so much for your questions. So I wanted to go over the situation with the CEUs. So our courses, NCBTMB has some time ago already approved courses for the live online to be done, for the live courses to be held live online. So our courses, we've been submitting them and they've been getting approved. So NCBTMB, they are approved for CEUs. Those of you that are in Florida, if you need Florida CEUs, the Florida board has voted unanimously to approve live online courses, but it hasn't been implemented yet. So there's a little gray area there. And when I first saw that they approved it unanimously, I was so excited. I was like, yeah, we got it. And, you know, so happy, you know, and then it was like, oh, wait a minute. They're saying they have to do some organization and legislation and how they're going to actually implement the policy. They said they didn't want to do an emergency order, which would allow it to happen instantly because emergency orders are only good for 60 to 90 days. So they said they want to actually change the law and they want to allow it so it will extend through the renewal period, the end of August 2021, so that it's a law that goes until that point. And of course, then they'll reevaluate. my feeling is we don't know how long it's going to take to implement, and we've already been closed for several months, and that kind of keeps us in limbo. So I'm actually going to be calling them again, and I invite anyone on the line if you want to call them. I would hope, and maybe if enough of us call, they could implement an emergency order to allow us to do it right away while they're working on changing the law. Can they do the two things at the same time? Now, I'm not a legislator, or I don't know, maybe there are reasons they can't. I don't know yet. So I just wanted to be really clear that that's where we stand in Florida. So I have several people already signed up for our programs in August, and these are people that either don't need the Florida CEUs, or they are willing to take a chance. I don't know if we'll have that green light by August. They maybe are people that either don't need CEUs in Florida, or they know they're going to take another class before August 2021, and they really want to get on and take the class. So it's up to you how you want to get on board. I have the courses listed with the NCBTMB as live online. They've been approved. And as far as Florida, I've just been waiting. So they are listed as live. So I'm just not sure what to do with that yet. So I'm just waiting because the classes don't start until August the 8th. And the way things are going, things are constantly changing. So, I mean, I'm on top of it. I'm watching like many of us. So as soon as I hear anything, I will put it out. And if anyone else hears something before me, please let me know. So how many CEUs will you receive? So we have 6-hour classes and we have 12-hour classes. Now, I also think we are allowed in Florida 6 elective classes that you can take. So we have 6-hour classes and we have 12-hour classes. And so depending which one you take, that's how many CEUs you'll get. Typical schedule for the course. So these courses have been in modules. Currently they're Saturdays and Sundays, or just a Saturday or just a Sunday for the 6 hours. And they go from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Usually at 9, we meet and greet, we center, have set a context for the day. You get a little overview of the modality, and I really get right into hands-on right away. You'll learn one of the flows. Each course has a few flows that you'll learn. So for example, the first one is the Pinda Swedana, and you're going to learn 3 different types. And you'll also learn Ayurvedic information to assess your client to determine which type is the right type for them, for their body type and their condition and situation. Same for the second course on August 9th, the Basti therapeutic oil applications. You'll learn 3 different types. Those are 2 6-hour courses that we have offered August 8th and 9th. And if you do decide to take them both, you get a discount and you can pay the weekend price for that. Then our next 12-hour class is the Marma Chikitsa. And Marma is, they are like points on the body similar to acupressure. It's gentle touch. The client is fully clothed. You don't need product for that, so there's not much you will need to take that course. I will demonstrate how to use some products, and again, you'll get a list of that when you register for the course. And I put on, they're not required that you get all those things. I will demonstrate. It's up to you. They're not really that expensive, and it's all available on Amazon. So you'll learn flows. I get right into hands-on, and then usually towards the end of the day, we'll get into some information about how you would adapt the practices. You'll get Ayurvedic information. The 2-day courses, I go a little bit more in depth into that. And then there's time for question and answer at the end. Let's see. Our Marma course, actually, you're going to learn a few of the flows are actually hands-on. And then one of the flows, you're going to learn Marma points through movement, which is kind of part of yoga. It'll be very gentle movement, so accessible and adaptable. And you'll learn another flow through something called Yoga Nidra, which is yogic sleep, which is like a guided meditation on a specific flow of yogic Marma points. So Marma points are classified by different categories, and so you'll learn different categories, and then you'll learn a few flows on the body as well, one for the head, neck, and face. You'll learn one for energizing, one for relaxing, for moving the lymph, and a chakra flow. So you'll get, that's a real class that has a variety of ways to learn and ways to incorporate Marma into your practice. So those 3 courses, those modalities are things that you can always have as add-ons to any other modality that you already do. And really all the classes, the feedback I've gotten. So we have the traditional massage in Ayurveda is the Abhyanga massage. That's scheduled for the end of October. And many people love that. It has a lymphatic drainage component, very strong lymphatic drainage. And the feedback I've gotten, you know, from a lot of other massage therapists is how they may have adapted or brought many techniques they learned into other modalities that they're already doing, aside from, you know, learning the modality and using it as a standalone as well. So supplies for the course, you will get a list in advance. And again, most of the things you're going to have around your house. We talked about the difference of online from in-person for the most part, and how you can be a successful online learner is really, I think the biggest thing is, you know, carving out the space and time so you're not distracted. And we talked about the CEs, so let's see. So for the Marma class, so for many of the other classes, I'm going to show you and introduce you to our model that we're going to be using that you can get to work on. So if you're needing CEUs, you do need to have a person to work on or a model to work on. If you're not needing CEs, you really don't, but I would suggest you do. You'll get much more out of the class if you do. So here are 2 options. So for our Marma class, since it doesn't require oils, you can just use a body map of a person. So this is from our yoga teacher training, actually, when we did a yoga nidra on different aspects of our bodies. And you can lie down and have someone outline your body, as you can see here, on a piece of mural paper. And you can use this for the Marma class. You may be able to use it for pinda, but it'll get soggy because the pindas are wet, so you would need several of them. But for Marma, this could be fine. This is it cut out. You don't really even have to cut it out. So at this point, I'm going to stop the screen share just for a moment. And so you can see me, hopefully you're seeing me in a full screen, and you can change your view so you see me full screen, and bring you into the classroom here. And so when I demonstrate the modalities, this is Manny. This is Manny, our model. And so you can purchase a plastic mannequin to practice on through Amazon. And when I send people the list of products that they'll need, there'll be a link to the one I actually got. So you can see me demonstrating whatever it is we're going to do. I happen to have a pinda here. This is one pre-made pinda. And so, you know, first you're going to learn how to actually make it, and how to make with 3 different types, and then how to apply it to the body in various ways. So you can see here how you'll be able to see, and I'll be describing everything that I'm doing. For Marma, you won't need to heat any oils. For some of the others, you'll need a burner and a pot with boiling water, and some maybe stainless steel bowls that you can set into the pot of water to heat your oils. So that's a little bit of what it would look like, and I can actually even adjust this closer. I can adjust this so you can see a little bit better. Okay. So you will see me demonstrating on Manny, and then we would split screen, and you will turn on your camera when we practice. So actually, I'd like to invite you, there's a couple of you on, if you'd like to, for a moment, turn your screen on. You can turn your video on if you know how to do that, and then I can see you. Hi. Hi. Thanks for joining, Wendy. And is Brianna there? I know we have a few people. Oh, there she is. Hi, Brianna. Nice to see you. So what'll happen is you'll learn the modality, and then we'll flip to where I can see you. And you want to set your computer up so I can see you and your table and watch you practice. If you set your computer up higher, you can see more. So I have my computer stacked on it's on a snack table with two big like storage boxes, one on top of the other, and I've got the computer on top of that. And I may even go higher if I can, I don't know, maybe this is high enough. But the higher you can place your device that you're watching this on, then that's how I'm getting it full body in the screen. If it was down at the lower level, then you only see the face. So, you know, you may want to figure out a way to put your device up in a higher area. And, you know, you're welcome to use a phone or a computer, but I'll just say if you do have access to using a computer, laptop, the screen is bigger, so you may have an easier time seeing. So while I have you, if you have any other questions that I can answer, or tell me a little bit about what you're looking for while we're live, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hi. So I had like a last minute question that I just posted, but it was for Florida, the state of Florida, since you were also practicing there. It was about the warming therapy, so the Pinda, the Svedana.
Mm-hmm.
Is it some therapies that client request often because we are already in a warm weather for you?
Good question. So in Ayurveda, we use a lot of heat in the body to break up adhesions. It's like a sweating therapy. So Svedana, it's Pinda Svedana. Pinda is a bolus and Svedana is sweating. So it is a therapy you use to actually bring heat to the person other than sitting them in a steam box. So like sitting them in a steam box could be too much heat, like you said, in Florida. So this could be a heat application that's less intensive, you know, because you're just applying heat to the area rather than them sitting in a whole box of steam. So for some people, it's more appropriate to use localized heat rather than sitting in a box. Now, there are going to be 3 different pindas you're going to learn for 3 different body types, so that you'd be adjusting what's inside the pinda according to the person. One may be more dry, one may be more wet, one may be more nourishing, one may be more cleansing, you know, depending what that person needs. I would say they are very popular in you know, I think they become popular when you let people know about them. I don't think people know. So it's kind of like you put it out there as an add-on. If somebody has arthritis or joint pain, low back pain, or they need more nourishment, you can do it more gently with a more nourishing application. Or if they have a lump, a hard lump, you can use a dry one with some heat and it breaks up the lump. So I will, you know, you'll learn more about the details of each one in the class, but you can offer it as a standalone treatment where you just do their whole body with these pindas and that's all. Or you can do a localized pinda, or you can even do a full body pinda, but add it on to something like a massage. You can make it an add-on. You know, and it may be something you bring to clients that you have a relationship with. Oh, I have something new. Would you like to try it? Or if you know they have a specific condition that it could be really helpful for, you know, it's another thing to offer. And yes, it can be really valuable depending on what's going on with that person. And it is a way to bring heat into the body. So heat in Ayurveda helps stimulate metabolism of the cells. So it helps burn fat. It helps so like the fat within the skin. So it's stimulating metabolism in your skin, and then it penetrates a little bit more deeply into the cells in the body. So it's improving your overall metabolism of skin and just overall in general, which is part of like the Ayurvedic perspective of health and body work. So we heat the oils a lot, even in the other trainings. We heat the oils also because they become more digestible with heat. So heat puts the oil in it's like breaking it down so your body can absorb it more. So we almost always are warming the oils. Certainly if it's a really hot type of person, you don't have to heat them as much. But you can warm the oil and let it cool down a little bit. But it feels really good going on the body. I will say it cools down really fast. So it's not like you put it on and it just makes you sweat a lot. You put it on, it has a feeling of warmth, which is nice, but then you do cool down. It doesn't last. It's not like it heats you up a lot. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
And that's one of the that's the first one we're doing on August 8th is the Pinda Swedana. And actually, I had them all lined up in a row, starting with some of the more traditional massage modalities like Abhyanga, because you can then take the Pinda and you can use the Pinda in the way you do Abhyanga. But you can certainly learn Pinda, and I'm going to show you how to use it. And then if you really like it and you want to go deeper, you can learn the Abhyanga, that one we're doing in October. So our schedule people can jump in at any time. I'm going to be offering them, every month, rotating around continuously. I had set it up in a way that, like in an order that I thought would be a nice way to build, like learn some of the foundational modalities, and then these are the add-ons. But you can certainly use the add-ons because you can use them with your other massages, you could still use them. So you can jump in whenever you want. We've also had to rearrange our schedule a bit because of the COVID situation. So we've rearranged. That's why we have so many in August, and then we don't have that many in September. And I may add more on. I hadn't put any on originally in November and December because I had them all complete by October, thinking, okay, now it's the holidays, and we were going to focus on yoga for those months. But with all that's going on, we'll just wait and see what happens. I'll definitely be putting everything on starting again in January, and then spacing them out every month through August. So yeah.
Since you're talking about the schedule, would it always be during the weekend, or you will be also offering during the week?
I'm open to maybe offering some during the week. I did a survey in the last email to get a sense, and it was not a lot of people responded to the survey. Out of let's see, I sent out a lot of emails, and I only had 10 people responded to that question out of thousands. So, I try to really get information and poll people, but not everyone wants to participate. But I got 6 people wanted weekend and 4 people wanted weekday. So what does that say? I say from my experience, I've been doing this for years. Weekends are usually more popular, so they fill more than weekdays. But I do think things are changing. We're not in a typical anything anymore, and more people may be even home and available. And so I am open to some weekdays, and I really will look at that. I think what I'm going to do in terms of adding more courses, I'm going to wait until the whole CEU thing gets implemented. And then at that point, whenever that is, I'll look at adding on more, because I think some people are waiting for that. And so it makes sense to me to I'm going to follow through with all the ones that I've already have on the schedule. We're going to do all of them. We have people signed up for them already, but not a real lot, because I think some people are waiting for that. And so I will say likely. And if you tell me specifically, the more specifics I get from people, I'll, plan around it and give it, if I already know a few people are interested in this and this certain days and times. I try, but at some point, sometimes you just have to put it on the schedule and say, this is what it is. 'Cause you try to it's like a jigsaw puzzle trying to fit together all of the classes. So I teach them massage and body work, and I also do yoga teacher training and an Ayurvedic yoga immersion. So those are my three main things that I'm focusing on. So I alternate them. I've had them as week longs, so that I would usually make the weekends just weekend modules, or you come and take the whole thing at once for a week. But I think I like online. I like doing it in modules. I think being like intensively on the computer for a week is just a little too
intense.
and you're not in, I don't know. I prefer a couple of days at a time. You know, we can alternate with some week during the, I don't know. I just see that weekends are usually more popular, but maybe things are different now. So maybe I'll put a couple out. Well, you specifically, you were interested in Pinda?
I was interested about all of them.
All of them. Okay. So I may, I don't think I want to do a whole week at once and do them all at once. I mean, would you want to do that?
No.
No. So I think I'll keep it as modules as it is, because they're already approved that way for CEUs. So this way, I mean, I had the whole thing approved for the whole week long, but that was a different format and structure. And I think I'm just going to hold off on that for now and do the modules. And if you do register for all the modules in advance, you get 1 day free. So that's a perk. Like if you say, okay, I know I'm going to do all of them, you sign up for all of them, you pay for all of them, you get the early bird, plus you get 1 day free. And we also created an early bird. It was till tomorrow, but I'll move it till Friday and give people a little more time, that you get even an additional $100 off. You know, we may keep the early bird. I'm inclined to keep the early bird for right now until we get the implementation of the Florida CEs, because it's creating a little bit of a gray area. But this way, if you do the modules, you'll get CEs for each module. I mean, they're way more than you need. If you're in Florida, you don't need all of those. You only need 18, like you need 12. You have to have at least 12, but then you have 6 that can be anything. So that's why I have 12-hour courses, and then I have a few of the 6 hours. So you can put them together, and then you've got your CEs met, and then you have to do your required, you know, HIV and the laws and ethics, and now we have the human trafficking, and those you can do online too. So, but those are required classes. So that's kind of where we're thinking. I mean, you certainly don't have to, you can just pay as you go too. Once we move away from the early bird, like once we do get that implementation is all good to go, we always have an early bird that's good 1 month, up to 1 month before each module. So as long as you sign up 1 month before the module starts, you would get the early bird for that module. We're just, you know, offering an incentive right now and extending that because of the whole situation that's happening. Brianna, did you have any questions? Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, yes, thank you. I have kind of a bit of a question. Might be like specific to my situation. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not in Florida, but I live there sometimes. I'm not sure what these credits would be required for exactly.
Are you a licensed massage therapist?
No, that's kind of, yeah, that's the other half. That's very
Then it doesn't even pertain to you. So you would just be taking the classes because you want to take them. See, in some states, they require licensed massage therapists to take continuing education, and it varies from state to state. So many states don't have any requirement. Ohio has no requirement. Massachusetts has no, many states. I don't know exactly. I should look it up. I'm willing to bet there are more states that don't require it than do. I know Florida and Georgia do require CEUs, and I'm sure there are few other states that do. And I'm an NCBTMB, which NCBTMB is nationally recognized. So that's why people from Georgia can take my courses, and I'm in Florida, and they accept NCBTMB in Georgia, so that people can, any state that accepts the NCBTMB, these courses are approved and acceptable. Florida, I don't know. I wonder about that, because there's someone in Florida that told me they only need the NCBTMB, and I'm wondering, you know, I may need to get some more clarity on that. Like, usually whatever NCBTMB approves, Florida approves right after. So like my courses get approved from NCBTMB, and then typically Florida accepts them too. So they just maybe are lagging a little bit behind, and partly that's because in Florida, we also have something different, is that all the massage therapists in Florida have to renew their licenses at the same time. We all renew every 2 years, and the next renewal is August 2021. So the administrators, they think, oh, well, you got plenty of time. You don't have to renew till next August. So they think they don't have to do anything. But the reality is, this is going on. We've already been shut down for 4 months, not being able to, you know, those of us that teach for a living and provide CEUs, we haven't been able to do it. I mean, now we could if we want to do live, but I mean, frankly, who wants to do that? It's very risky right now. So by them stalling and saying, oh, we have time, you're looking at like 7 months where I'm paying for a CEU provider license that I can't use. So that doesn't, you know, you're kind of getting in the way of us as a school being able to function, and for people to keep taking their classes. You know, if everyone waits till the last minute, it'll be, you know, a little overload. So I don't know, there's a dance. They're getting on board with it. They did approve it unanimously. So it's definitely coming. And I'm going to keep on top of them and keep calling them. And maybe the more people that bother them about it, maybe it's more up to the schools, because, you know, we're shut down. And so, you know, I was real excited when I heard it was approved. So to answer your question, if you don't need CEUs, this doesn't even apply to you. And that's why most of the people all the people that have signed up for my classes for August either don't need them. They're people that are not licensed massage therapists. So I have some acupuncturists, I have yoga teachers, or they're from another state. Now that I went virtual, I have people coming in from other states. Someone from Ohio, they don't need CEUs. Someone from Massachusetts, they don't need them. And they're all excited they can do these classes virtually. And there are a few from Florida that say, well, you know, I know I'm going to take another class before next August, so I'll take it anyway. You know, so it's a mixture. It's a small class, and I have a mixture of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brianna, do you have something else to add?
Yes, I was just wondering, so I do teach yoga and Ayurveda, but I'm wondering, as far as like, I know you said they don't need to disrobe in order to do Marmas or even the Pindas, I mean, maybe, but I'm wondering, would this help with like the permission to touch, or
it doesn't license you as a massage therapist. You're learning a modality. So are you a certified yoga teacher?
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're a certified yoga teacher, you're allowed to touch. Aren't you allowed to give yoga assists?
Definitely, like, we're just not allowed to make them think that we're a doctor, I guess.
No, of course not. You're not, right. You have to stay in your scope of practice. I think when you look at Marma in terms of yoga, like there are Marmani of the joints, for example. There are different Marmanis in different parts of the body. When you're doing different yoga postures, you're stimulating different Marma points. So if you learn about that, you can really use yoga more therapeutically, yoga for healing. You have, you know, for example, a real obvious one is the Marma point between the eyebrows. And when you touch your head to the floor, like in child's pose, you're stimulating this Marma. Or, you know, if you're rolling on your shoulder, you're stimulating the Marmas in the shoulder area. When you move your neck, you're stimulating different Marma points. There are many Marma points in the head and the face. There's also a very traditional meditation on 18 Marma points. It's a yogic meditation. and there are 18 Marma points. The whole meditation is focused on 18 Marma points, and it's an ancient, I didn't make up the flow, it's a traditional yogic meditation, and it's based on Marma points. So when you think about the origins of yoga, I mean, the origins of yoga were more about the mind, and they were, yoga didn't originate as yoga poses as we know them today. Yoga originated as meditation. And so they meditated on these points. So they had knowledge of Marma points. Not Marma points, like all the massages are based on Marma points. When you do an Abhyanga lymphatic drainage massage, it's an oil massage, but it's based on, you're stimulating all these points. So yoga also has a knowledge of Marma points. So I think it would just take your yoga practice to another level where you could start using it more therapeutically, having knowledge of the points, whether you use that to do yoga poses or yoga meditation on the points, you can use it in various ways. So I think Marma is a great combination. I also think you'll learn about the massages if you decide to take any of the other classes. People that do a lot of yoga usually get a lot of massage. If you're working your body so much, the massage goes hand in hand with the yoga practice, nourishing your joints and your muscles, but also it puts you in a very deep state of relaxation. And the Shirodhara, which is this oil drip on the forehead with the, can you see the pot here?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the classes. And that is almost like a meditation with oil, bringing the oil back and forth on the head, and it's stimulating Marma points, and it drops you into the alpha state. It's like doing yoga nidra, where you have you're meditating on opposites. So this is similar. It goes back and forth. You can think of it like hypnosis in a way, but it's not. We're not saying anything. We're not making any suggestions to the person, but just the oil dripping back and forth. It's quiet. You're in a quiet space. You're nourishing your brain, and you're integrating the brain waves that drops you into a depth of relaxation that, at its highest viewpoint, it's teaching you self-realization, because the mind and body fall away and what's left. So you have an experience of yourself you wouldn't have otherwise had, which is really valuable. In its highest view, that's what all of this is about, self-realization. But along the way, you have the health benefits of deep relaxation. And, the World Health Organization has said that stress is an epidemic. It was the big epidemic before the current epidemic. But stress contributes to every major illness on the books. So if we get a handle on this through deep meditation, 20 minutes of Shirodhara or Yoga Nidra is equal to 2 hours of sleep. So it's just so rejuvenating for the body that it's indicated for most conditions as a treatment. Again, as a treatment, it works with the level of the mind and the body, but it also, helps you have an experience of yourself, which is really valuable too. So it's working on all the layers. And I go through that in my yoga training. I teach all about the koshas and all the different layers that make up a person. So, I love that I can do all, I'm skilled in the body work and the yoga and yoga therapy and Ayurveda to bring it all together and see how, it works synergistically to move towards self-realization. And along the way, you have all these health benefits. So, I think there's a deep, deep connection between the Ayurveda, the bodywork, and yoga. So there's a deep connection. If you're not a licensed massage therapist, you're not going to be able to give sessions per se and charge for a massage. But certainly what the experience and knowledge that you gain in the class, you'll apply it to your yoga teacher training, and it will, it will take it to another level. The Marma, because I think you can touch and say, press into my arm, press into my fingers, in terms of yogic. The Marma, the client stays fully dressed and you're just touching points. So, there is a way you could probably integrate that into yoga. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, I'm just wondering then if you certify in, do you also do certifications in massage therapy?
So to become a licensed massage therapist, what state do you live in?
I'm in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. I would check in, I don't know your state offhand to see what the law is in Rhode Island. It's state by state. Every state has different requirements. Some states have very little requirements. I think some of the states up north, is it Vermont? Vermont, just you had to take a 200-hour massage class. They don't even have licensing years ago. I mean, it may have changed because I haven't stayed on top of it, but you should probably look, you know, you can Google it, you know, massage in your state, in Rhode Island. Check the Board of Health, see, you know, check in if there are any massage schools in your area, because that, just to find out what's required in your area. You may find they don't require very much. Some of the little states up there don't require a real lot. And so if they don't have a big requirement, it's likely because there isn't a school. Because who makes you have all the requirements? The schools. The schools. So, you know, if you're in a state with a lot of schools, you got a lot of requirements. Kind of goes hand in hand somehow. But then again, it also, you know, in different areas, they have different views of massage, you know, and because in some areas, there's a little more ignorance to what massage really is. You know, if you have the legislators are older, they think of it in an old school kind of way. And we're trying to lobby and educate people on that. In the South, it's a little different depending, it really depends where you live. So I don't actually, you know, certify people to become a massage therapist, because that's goes from state to state, and I don't do that. That's not my thing. I'm not a massage school in that way. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, and I'm a licensed massage therapist. I've been doing massage since 2001, an Ayurvedic practitioner, and doing Ayurvedic massage since 2004. And I used to live in Massachusetts, and I worked at Kripalu Center. So I worked there for 10 years. I was mentored by the dean of the school, who's the executive director of the National Ayurvedic Medical Association. So I feel that I've had extensive experience and knowledge. I'm connected still with the NAMA. I'm a CEU provider for NAMA as well. And so I have a lot of experience seeing a lot of clients at Kripalu, you know, for so many years. So I really had an opportunity to grow in that way. And, you know, I moved to Florida. I've been in Gainesville for a while now, and I've worked at many, many centers. I've worked at several centers, and I've really helped them set up their programs, because typically I get hired and they don't know what they're doing. And I end up teaching them how to do the modalities in a more effective and efficient fashion. So this is my office room right now. I have a small office here in Gainesville, Florida. This is where I see clients. Right now I'm not seeing clients. I'm only working online. I do virtual Ayurvedic health consultations, and I teach the Ayurvedic bodywork and the yoga teacher training that I do from, I have a home studio where I practice yoga, and I do my yoga teacher training from there, but online. So let's see, I can give you a little, this is the practice area here, and there's a sink and Shirodara. I do have a steam box. My steam box is portable, so I set it up when I need it, and then I close it. As far as the steam programs, you don't have to buy a steamer. I can give you a little look around my office. This is the other side of my office in my consultation area over here. So you can see a little background. But the steam box, you don't have to buy a steam box, but if you wanted to, there are portable steam boxes that are not expensive, like $100 or so. I'm also going to explain to you how you can makeshift a little steamer with stuff you have at home, using a sheet and an electric fry pot. So, you know, you can makeshift things to learn the modalities, and then you can decide how much you want to invest. But most of the modalities, you don't need very much. You don't, you know, you can just use basic oil, sesame oil, and some herbs and spices that you have around your house. So, which again, you'll get a detailed list of what you need for each class when you register for each class. Let me see if I had anything else left on this PowerPoint. I think I pretty much got through the whole thing. Let's see. So let me just reduce you for a second. So I went over the Ayurvedic massage and bodywork specialist is if you take all the modules, I went over that, you get one module free. And if you register by Friday, you get another $100 off. How do you register? So you just let me know. And you can go to the website or Venmo and let me know. Like I said, I'm an approved provider for the National Certification Board for Therapeutic Massage and Bodywork and for NAMA, as well as Yoga Alliance. So this is my business, ChayaVeda Integrative Healing Arts. Here's a picture of many of the modalities. And so that's what I had to share with you today. If you have any other last questions before we close, if you think of anything after, feel free to reach out to me. I hope that this was informative and thank you.
One more question.
Yes.
You mentioned that we are going to assess the doshas of the person or no?
Yes, I'll go into more detail in that in the 12-hour classes. The 6-hour classes are a little short, so you know they're only 6 hours. So in 6 hours, you're going to learn 3 flows of the modality, and you'll learn a little bit about that. You'll learn a little bit about the products and some general, like you'll learn 3 flows and when you would use which flow for which dosha, which type of person, but it'll be a little shorter. And then in the 12-hour, I go into that in a little more depth. Because there's more time. It's a 12-hour class. And then you're learning the full body, like massage in the Abhyanga, the Vishesh, and Udvartana programs. So then I do it in all, but the 12-hour, you get a little bit more. Also, if it's something you're really interested in, you want more information, that I go over in the Ayurvedic Yoga Immersion. That's a 3-weekend module class. I have it on the schedule for fall. And I go into great depth in Ayurveda and how you bring it into your life, into your yoga practice, including diet and lifestyle and doshic assessment, because it's 3 weekend modules. So we go into Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, 1 weekend for each dosha in depth, with a focus on adapting yoga, but also there's diet, lifestyle, and some subtle therapies. I do get into essential oils and subtle therapies in that yoga immersion as well. I touch on essential oils in Marma because we use them in Marma, but I go into more depth in that 3-module immersion. And that I can give you CEUs as well. That I got that approved years ago for CEUs, but you can use it only for self-care. So you can use 6 credits of that class towards your self-care credits for massage. You can also use it as a CEU class for Yoga Alliance for yoga. So that's the 3-module. It's like Ayurveda and Yoga Immersion. Or you can even get, I teach on the doshas, like if you did a one-on-one, say Ayurvedic health consultation, they're usually an hour and a half long, and you get a lot of education tailored to you. So you learn about the doshas in terms of you, and I assess you, and you get a little booklet that comes with it that has a lot of information in it as well. So different ways to, but since you're like licensed professionals, I think you may really enjoy the courses because you can use that to bring into your practice and into your life. I think we practice from our experience. So we need to have the experience ourselves to be truly authentic and deliver a really authentic and powerful session. So all of my classes, I feel like there's an experiential component, and you know, you want to really try to embody it and experience it for yourself and then share it with the world. So as we close, I'll share with you something someone wrote for me that is a nice closing for our session today. May we be grounded through the base of our body by unity, honor, and integrity. May we be centered in our hearts through love and compassion. And may we be lifted through our shoulders, necks, and head by the energies of mercy, wisdom, and grace. So thank you for joining me today, for your interesting questions. And I look forward to seeing you around the table or on the mat, wherever we end up. So thanks for staying in touch and being on this today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to have the link available afterwards if you want to share it with anybody. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you.